Hey, Steve, it's my last night. Your shooters, and I mean not Steph, of course, but at Moses and BP, Buddy, and Clinton were 11 of 32 from the field. Did you like the looks they got, and just need to see them go down?
There were plenty of good looks, and I have no doubt that'll even out, and a lot of those shots will go. And then there were some possessions that we need to improve our spacing. I think that's the real key against these guys. They're long and athletic, obviously big with the two big guys in the paint. So if our spacing is cramped, it's difficult to get great shots. So those are the things we're looking at.
Doors need to score
Yeah,
open shots.
we got out of sorts last night. We got too emotional. And first play of the fourth quarter was indicative of our letting our guard down a few times, and that's all it takes in a series like this. Van Vliet gets the 4-point play. It goes from 2 to 6, and the whole nature of the game changes, and that's based on just a missed matchup. And so that's my biggest concern tomorrow is just our overall, um, emotional response to a night where we really weren't ourselves.
And what are you seeing from through 6 games from Draymond, and what do you need to see from him in Game 7?
Well, I think he's our key in terms of what that emotion looks like. He's been in a bunch of game sevens. He's had monster game sevens. I think he recognizes that this series is not pleasant for him. He doesn't, he rarely gets the big on him to run pick and roll. They're putting Van Vliet on him, trying to take him out of the offense, trying to take his rhythm away, trying to goad him into technicals and flagrants like Green did last night. Um, Draymond knows he cannot respond uh, to that stuff in that way. He's just got to maintain his composure and recognize he's the best defender in the world. If we do our jobs and he's guarding, at his best capability, and he's maintaining his emotion, and we're doing our jobs, taking care of the ball, we got a great chance to win, and he gets the last laugh.
The Warriors play tonight, the most important game of the season so far. And I don't know, I have mix of feelings. We're gonna talk about this today, but I think in this interview that Steve Kerr had last night, he mentioned lots of the things that I mentioned in the last video here, right? It's frustrating as the first feeling that we are in this position. We had 2 games to close the series. We could have rested. It would be important for us. And now we're playing in Houston. So the cards are on the table and they're more in favor of the Houston Rockets right now. But we can still do it. We have very experienced guys. We have one of the best in the league in Stephen Curry. We have Jim Butler, which stands and rise up for the occasion. But we need more of the supporting cast. And Steve Kerr sort of indirectly call out what Draymond Green needs to do, right? I think Draymond Green has been one of the biggest uh, disappoints, I would say, in the series because he's having a tough job, right? He has to be all the time on Shangun or Adams, playing as a center, which is not his original position. But even like when handling the ball, things we used to do, he's struggling. I think the Rockets, Ime Udoka found a way of stopping Draymond Green. So he has been a negative factor for the Warriors. And then on top of that, we know that he's not the best one handling his emotions. And that's when he gets frustrated with the refs, which obviously I agree with him. They're missing some calls. But then he externalized that by committing flagrant fouls and making that a negative impact for the team. So he's going to be one of the things tonight that will make a difference. Like fouls, as I said in the last video, if you didn't watch that. Go to the channel and watch that because I said fouls is going to be important. Every team that has starting struggling with fouls, that they need to sit some guys, they in general lost the games in the series. So that's going to be a key factor. The other one that Steve Kerr mentioned, and mentally is exhausting for us fans. So I hope the players, being professional, they can handle that, and because of their experience, which is key, right? And it's also intriguing because I'm less concerned about how Stephen Curry is going to perform and how Jimmy Butler will perform. It's more about how Podzinski, which is another key factor, like he's being up and down for the Warriors, and when he's in an update, we are almost unbeatable, right? Because then we have 3 strong scorer, and then the defense needs to focus on him, and you open space for Curry and Butler and everyone else. But last game, as Steve Kerr also said, and that was another call out, it's like you can't miss the open shots, and Curry and Butler said about that as well. You need to take those shots, but you need to make those shots. Everyone else in the last game, but Butler and Curry couldn't do anything. Post, which is another rookie, so concerns me how he's going to be mentally prepared for this game 7. You have Podzinski, which is up and down. Moses Moody has been a roller coaster as well in this playoff series. And then, Buddy Hield, a veteran that we can rely. Like, what do you expect? You never know what you're going to expect from him. Gary Payton, that was very disappointing last game after having an up game as well. So it's one of those nights that I was talking to my wife today, and I was like, I'm so like with mixed feelings, afraid, concerned, excited for the game. I just don't want the season to be over for us. I think we have a good team, and we should have like closed this already, but now we're in the brink of elimination. And it's just because of some bad decisions or lack of effort, because I do agree with Steve Kerr. Like, for those rebounds, we're smaller, but we have one in that lineup. I don't love that lineup. I don't die for it, but we know the path. But you got to be very locked in. You got to put all your energy and effort. So yeah, it's one of those nights that you can expect anything. Nothing would be surprised tonight, like a blowout victory, a blowout loss, a very tight game, elimination, or going to the next stage. Everything is possible. It's 2 great teams. The Rockets have a smart coach, and it's going to be a chess game. So it's a lot of points for us as a fan to think. I really hope that the season is not going to be over. I hope that Stephen Curry has one of those shining, bright nights where he scored like 50 points. But yeah, we're going to need guys with hot hand, making threes, putting up front like a big statement, like, because the beginning of the game matters as well, right? To show who is hot, who is like came to the game and who didn't. They're going to double team on Steph. They're going to make his life like hell, and they're going to be physical, and it's going to be frustrating at some points. And then it depends on the other ones to take advantage of that space. We're going to limit the turnovers. And there's one point that I said here before, but also Suker said that the mentally prepare, it's also on Steph, right? Because at the end, he gets frustrated and he wants to decide by himself. And then like last game, for example, he even said that he took like 4 or 3 deep range 3-point shots that didn't make any sense, and they were early in the clock. And that was when also connected with when the Rockets created a separation, like 17 points, 16 points, something like that. So Warriors and Rockets tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time in Houston. All the Houston fans will be there. For sure it's going to be crowded. This is one of the best things that Houston Rockets had in a while. They can really, I think both teams are capable to go to the next stage and beat Minnesota. Minnesota is a great team, and Anthony Edwards is one of the big guys in the league right now, but still, like, it's going to be another tough series. And we saw last night the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers, out of nowhere. As I said, that's the kind of game 7s like this. Like we're having a very tight series so far in the Denver versus Clippers, and then out of nowhere, the Denver came a lot more locked in, and they had like almost this blowout victory, right? So yeah, it's frustrating that we are in this position. I think everyone in the team could have done a little bit more, from Steve Kerr to Stephen Curry in some games. It's tough, right? It's tough to blame Steph because it's the one, like, I think one guy in the league that has cared so much with the teams that he has to support. Like, the supporting cast for the Warriors is not great, and we know that. I said yesterday, I do expect that we're going to have big changes in the summer. Doesn't matter if we go out now or later, or even if we win the title. But unless these guys out of nowhere start consistently playing well, I would expect that a lot of these guys won't be, like Trace Jackson, John Kuminga, which for me, it's also another problem that we have. Kuminga was to be the guy, right? We're expecting him to be the third scorer. He was having a good season before Butler arrived, before he got injured. And now, yeah, I don't even know. Do we blame Steve Kerr? Do we blame himself? Because he had an opportunity in one of the games this season, this series, and we still see problems, right? It's, for me, it's very similar and that's the part that I get, like, why we insist on. I know why Steve Kerr insists on Buddy Hield, because of the spacing, the 3-point shooting, opening the floor. But it's the same with Kuminga. When they both are on the floor, on rare occasions, the Warriors struggle in defending, because they're both not great defenders. They're never, in post has been similar as well. Another point, like, he's a great shooter, but one, his shots are not falling, and second, like, he's always, like, in a bad position. We had some easy layups last game, or dunks for Adams, for other guys in the Houston Rockets, because post was out of position. The Warriors has a lot to improve. Steve Kerr says he has a plan, but I don't know. I can expect everything tonight. I know it's going to be a very intense game for everyone. The team's going to need to be locked in. I want to know, what do you think that can happen? And do you agree with me that independent on what path we take, the Warriors will shake some players and we're going to see a very different roster last season? I don't think we're going to move either. Well, Curry definitely not moving. I don't think we're going to move Butler. But I would say that out of those two, I think everything is on the table. And if we can land someone like Giannis or a big name, and that involves trading Draymond Green, we might see that happen. So there's a lot in my mind right now. Eventually, in a few days, we're gonna talk about the possibilities for the trades during the summer. Again, I hope the series is not over tonight. Let's hope we have a great game and we come back tomorrow to talk about the results. Have a great night.